that helps. I always forget to turn the mic on. I don't know what the heck's going on. I guess not enough coffee in the morning. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to today's episode of Stocks for Breakfast. Today we got a lot to cover. There's a lot going on overnight. The market is performing exactly as we would hope. If you've been a regular viewer of the channel, we've actually been talking about what we expected after the FOMC announcement based on the price action of the stock market heading into the FOMC announcement. Got a good Wednesday afternoon of buying. The market did not sell off like a lot of people were afraid because, again, you need to put those pieces together. Yesterday, beyond a shadow of a doubt, played out about as perfect as you could possibly imagine. And again, I challenge everybody every day to have the guts to lean on your experience, to lean on what you're learning and script out what you expect to have happen. Now, that doesn't matter if it's a day trade or a swing trade, but you need to know that if you're doing the hard work, get in there and say, this is what I expect to have happen this week. This is what I expect to have happen today or tomorrow, or, whenever you do your nightly game planning. So we have a lot to discuss today. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Obviously, we're going to talk about crypto today, which is a big overnight story. So stick around. I'll be back in just 1 second. So one thing I'd like to ask, if you find these videos helpful, definitely click down, give us a subscribe, hit that alert button. I would really appreciate it. So everything we talk about here is for educational purposes. It's up to you to make that final decision. What I hope to do, my mission, is to help you make better decisions so that you see your account steadily grow, right? So crypto, that's the big thing we're going to talk about today. So I just want to make sure I say hello to a couple of people. Hey, Carlos, how's it going? Let's see, from Jonas from Denver. I've heard Denver is absolutely beautiful. I've never been there myself. I've heard it's gorgeous. Petrol from England. What's up, Simon? How's it going, pal? Minvi wins the award for new member of our boot camp who is taking advantage of every single minute we're together, asking 1,000 questions, which is what you're supposed to do when you join our boot camp. You're supposed to get in there and ask as many questions as possible. So that's what we want everybody to do. All right, let's see. John Lash from Peoria, Arizona. Ross Marshall, good morning. Good morning. Where's everybody calling from? I love to see where everybody's from in different parts of the world. To me, it still amazes me that we could be talking stocks 7:30 in the morning to people all over the world. I think it's just amazing. Oh, by the way, we are soon, probably to start next month, we're probably going to be doing a midday live stream as well. We're going to be throwing that on the calendar. Maybe not every day like we're doing these live streams, but we're going to start doing a midday stream to set up afternoon trades, which I think would be kind of fun. So let's see. Connecticut. All right. My wife's actually going to Connecticut sometime soon. Switzerland. All right. Beat Jungo, Switzerland. John Oaks, Palm Beach Gardens. All right. I know where that is. Miles Taylor, North Carolina. One of my best friends, Richie from high school, lives in North Carolina. My sister wants to move to North Carolina. I had somebody tell me last week that I do too many hellos. Well, too bad. I want everybody to know how much I appreciate that you're here. Nebraska. Hey, Cecil. How's it going? Charles, made it through another week of opportunity. You know what, Charles? I'm actually going to leave that on the screen there for a second because the opportunity in relation to managing risk. As we buy and sell stocks all day, every day, it doesn't matter if you're a day trader, swing trader, or investor, there is so much opportunity. It's ridiculous. The biggest problem or the only block that most people have within that opportunity is not respecting risk. And we saw this in a big way. I actually stood up in my seat yesterday, probably around 11:30, talking to everybody in our community yesterday. We have been spending a lot of time. Oh, Dennis, Westbury, New York. All right. Long Islander. I like it. I like it. We used to love going to the Westbury Music Fair. Savannah, Georgia. All right, Lisa. That's supposed to be a beautiful area, too. Let's see. Cape Cod from Tom. All right. And Winnie. How can I leave Winnie out? Winnie from the UK. Winnie is awesome. So what we want to talk about here is opportunity. As long as you manage the downside, you'll always be around to be net profitable. And this is a big thing that a lot of traders just really haven't wrapped their head around for some reason. And there's this feeling like you have to trade, you have to trade, you have to trade, and you have to buy stocks all the time with the full same share size. And nothing could be further from the truth. It's our job to adjust our position sizing and our risk exposure when we buy stocks based on the quality of the idea and based on the profit potential. Because when it comes really down to it, order flow is the odds of a stock moving in a particular direction. Reading the tape is how far and how obvious should we take risk. So that risk reward part of it is in there. The point that I want to get across, okay? This is the point I want to get across. I have to put this on the screen because Slovakia, I can't even tell you. To me, it's freaking awesome. I have to be honest with you. Joe, my man. Joe, you are my buddy in the room. You got my back. Raphael from Middletown, New York. Okay, so here's the point that I want to get across. And this is why I got so excited yesterday. I have been preaching for the better part of the last maybe even 2 months, but especially the last 2 weeks when the market was getting hit, when the market was going down. If you're an experienced trader and you've been doing it for a while, it's imperative that you understand how to get paid for the month. And that means sometimes you size up, hold longer, take more positions. And that means sometimes you scale back, reduce your position sizing before you buy stocks, if you're even in stocks at all. I can't even tell you how proud I am of our community. Hey, Ted Santiago. Ted wins the award for the best stock picks in our game plan for the last 3 months. So here's the thing. I want to get to the point because I keep rambling. Our community yesterday, because we were able to manage our downside, not overtrade, keep our risk profile manageable during the 2.5 weeks of selling, we had a game plan for FOMC day and the day after FOMC day, which was yesterday. Everything unfolded perfectly. Everything, literally, market internals, sectors across the board, follow through, shallow pullbacks. You only need 1 or 2 days a week, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 days per month out of 20 trading days to make your entire month. So what happened yesterday is we traded with conviction. We scripted out what we expected to have happen. And instead of digging out of a hole all the way down here, we were kind of like back and forth with profitable heading into the day and the week. And all of a sudden, a great day unfolds and this happens. And now you're net profitable. Your entire month of frustration turns into being green or black. I should say black on the market, right? We have black. It's black if you're positive. So I want you to learn that. I don't come right out and say that all the time, but this is so important to the long-term profitability and quite honestly, to your mindset. Look, let's face it. Sometimes trading can make you feel like, it can be frustrating. Like sometimes you couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat. That was the phrase I used to use to myself all the time. Your conviction level will dramatically improve. Your belief in yourself will dramatically improve when you understand that every day is not a day to go hard at the market, but it's your job to recognize the kind of day and the kind of week and the kind of month that we're in, and then adjust your exposure and your expectation for profits before you buy stocks, before you decide to hit that buy button, before you decide to pick your share size. Once you understand that, and this is kind of like a positive, related positive outcome to that. When you understand every day is not the same, when you understand every market opportunity is different, then your job is to recognize how obvious is it today and how does that translate into the risk I'm willing to accept because of the likelihood of profit. That's something you want to watch again, okay? What we just talked about, if there is a secret, and I hate to use that word secret, if there is a secret to trading, that's what it is. Recognizing the current conditions and then trading those conditions like a pro. We have a hashtag that we use in our community all the time, hashtag trade like a pro, because whether you're trading full-time or you have a full-time job and you trade, you're swing trading part-time, you still want to act like a pro, which means recognizing those conditions. So I'm so excited for the members of our community because it unfolded in a way yesterday that we've been talking about. I wouldn't say warning, but I kept saying it over and over, manage your risk, manage your risk, manage your risk. And then a couple of days unfold and all of a sudden you're positive without having to, without feeling like you don't know what the heck you're doing. So if I do anything in these videos for you, or if you decide to, join us in the boot camp, the single biggest thing I will guarantee that I give you is a deep belief that you can do this. Now, you can do this is different levels for everybody, because some people are just starting yesterday. Some people have been trading for 20 years. Everybody has different levels. Like even myself, I have a different level that I want to get to. But whether it's here on social media or inside of our boot camp or our mastery program, if I have a superpower, it's to make you believe anything's possible. So that's where it starts. It starts with you understanding what to look at, how to interact with what you look at, and then having the confidence and the habits to do the right thing over and over and over again. And that's how you make money. And you think about it, how does an algorithm that trades stocks make money? Algorithms make money because they know what they're looking for and they only do that. That's the point that we want to get to: flawless execution and allowing our trading edge to do the hard work. So that's where we want to get. So now we're going to talk about some interesting stories today. If you have not woke up and read any news, Bitcoin is getting smacked hard today. And this is why. China's central bank says all crypto-related activities are illegal and vows a harsh crackdown. So I will tell you this personally, this is the kind of stuff that happens in a new market. It's a whole new thing. Yes, crypto is volatile. Yes, crypto is a way to make money. This is the kind of stuff that scares a lot of the people away from this market. So obviously, this is an opportunity now to maybe buy it on a deeper pullback, wait for it to reverse, maybe get a bullish U-turn, whatever it happens to be. What I want to do, though, is obviously that's big news. I want to, a friend of mine, Mitchell Jaworski, is actually a crypto trader from the very beginning. He tried to get me to invest in crypto in like 2016. I didn't. I trade stocks. I'm going to actually post this video here for you because I've watched this presentation before, and it is really good because he walks through what it means. What's a blockchain? How does the blockchain work? What is decentralized finance? How does that work and all that kind of thing? And I think one of the biggest questions that he answers in here is, will I get hacked? Everybody's like, Bitcoin, it's online. I don't understand. What if I put all my money into a wallet and that kind of stuff? If you have some time today, and I'll after this video is done, I'll also post the link below the video. Take some time to watch this video. It's only 24 minutes. Mitch really knows what he's talking about. And again, I'm not getting any out of this. I'm just passing along some information. We get so many basic questions. Now, Aldo inside of our Stock Trading Pro community is our resident crypto guru, for lack of a better way of putting it. Mitch is a personal friend of mine, and he really, really knows what he's talking about. So if you have any questions about what, actually, if I'm not mistaken, his book is called What the Heck is Crypto? So watch this video if crypto is something new to you, because this is a big deal. It's a really, really big deal. We're going to walk over into Nike. Nike pulled back from all-time highs about a week and a half ago, maybe about 3 weeks ago. And this is why. So you always see the news after the fact, right? Very similar, and this is what I want to point out, very similar to what we saw in the Fed bouncing after the bad news. Nike has actually been going down for a few weeks into this news, coming back from all-time highs. And you can see we keep working the chart. Now bounced for a couple of days, getting hit again this morning. So today it's going to be super interesting to see if Nike priced in that bad news over the last couple of weeks, if today is the bottom of this news and Nike turns around. So remember, scripting your success, watching it to go back and forth, really, really interesting to watch. Price action, what do I expect? Price action, what do I expect? Myers, I just want to know how much I appreciate this. If we've turned your trading around, I get emotional because I care so much about everybody who enters our community and enters our world. Thank you for sharing that with me. I really appreciate that. Okay, so next thing, I can't remember the last time that I've talked about buying Dell. So I want to give you a couple of picks that we're going to talk about today. Dell is one of them, which if we zoom out a little bit here, you can see very clearly that Dell is now sitting right near a breakout level. Whether it's just now comfortably over 100. It's basically between that 100, 104 level. So what does that mean? Well, we got to zoom in a little bit deeper, go into the price action and see, did it break out on good volume? It absolutely did. Did not close up there, though. So that's an interesting thing. So what are we looking for now? If you remember what we discussed yesterday, we spent a lot of time talking about this yesterday and this morning, quite honestly. Before you buy stocks, you need to put the pieces together to determine. Remember, we said it was a posted pad moment, and hopefully you wrote it down. When do I want to get to full share size? That's the question. Do you want to start out with a little bit more aggressive share size? So maybe you're doing it in two pieces. Maybe you're super aggressive with a super tight stop loss because order flow is really obvious, where you go in with heavier share size, or because of the breakout that failed and pulled back and it's having a hard time banging its head against 104, 104, 104, and went through 104 again and pulled back. Like, you know what? It gets above 104 again. I'm going to put on a piece of my trade, work it in three pieces, and wait for feedback from the market. If you're part of our community, you know we talk about pushes and pauses, right? Which is validation of that push through. So another one that we're looking at, my wife went to see Maroon 5 last night. So we're going to talk about Live Nation today. They do out, the concerts and all that kind of stuff. Live Nation. By the way, I had no idea who Maroon 5 is. I haven't listened to music, I don't think, since late 80s, I think. Billy Joel, I think, is like Billy Joel and the Eagles. We'll talk about that. So anyway, Live Nation, really good 2 days of price action into resistance. So now this is where breakouts get a bad reputation. Okay, Pete, I bought the breakout. Every time I buy a breakout, it fails. Well, you got, again, as we just said, heading into a new level. How far did the stock rally into that breakout, and what does the stock normally do? So right now, the stock just rallied $8 prior to the breakout. So that's a decent move. That's a 10% move in the stock in just 3 days. So I like the breakout. Oh yeah, she said amazing. She said the concert last night was amazing. I don't know. I'm an old school. I don't know. So anyway, Live Nation is a breakout right now. So similar to what we looked at in Dell, this is a little bit different. Dell broke through and pulled back hard. This is the first time it's getting up to this level again. So if this happens, then I'm doing this. If this happens, then I'm doing this. Because it already rallied $8, what it normally does has already been absorbed. So if we break through if we break through like 192 today, close strong on good volume, I am only going to have a piece of my trade on here again. So remember, if you go back to every single classic trading book, which we got all of them back there, every single longer term trader, every single one of them, Jesse Livermore, Gerald Loeb, Nicholas Darbus, William O'Neill, Paul Tudor Jones, all of them. They don't go in with full share size. They get feedback from the market. You put these pieces together, and this allows you to not get shaken out. It allows you to not be shaken out of a good idea. And here's more importantly, if it breaks through and pulls back, your risk exposure is smaller. So you're taking a smaller loss because there was no reason to have more share size because you put those pieces together. Okay, let me answer this question. Why markets rally yesterday and today goes red again? We just talked about that. The markets are getting crushed right now based on this news. Bitcoin is actually affecting the market. Good question, Gunnar. The market is affected so much more than I think anybody ever thought. How the crypto market is influencing the equities market, and that's the big reason this morning. We're giving it a reason. That's the reason today. Okay. We also want to talk about this. Kathy Wood loading up on $55 million worth of Twitter. So we're going to take a look at Twitter, and enables tipping with Bitcoin. That's super interesting. So that means now we got to dive in and take a look at where Twitter is. So is Twitter let's throw it out to the community, same way that we did yesterday. Is Twitter a buying opportunity today? And what kind of profit potential does the stock have? So we can see here, it keeps getting up to this level. Remember, we look at the levels that it's struggling with. We look at the levels that, what is the real price? Now, again, rookies will be like, oh yeah, that's the resistance up there. But no, this is the real price. Got up here and failed, got up here and failed. So this is the real level. So we have 70, let's just say 71, just to keep the math simple. 71, and it's trading at 66 and change right now. Roughly $5. Roughly $5. What kind of trade is this right now? We also have to factor in that the stock had a bullish gap and 3 well-bid days in a row, or 2 well-bid days in a row. This was actually a bullish engulfing candle. So if we have $5 profit potential on this trade, up to the level where the stock has been hammered. Sellers have not been able to let it go through there. What kind of risk, what kind of dollar risk exposure as far as a stop loss should be your maximum if we have a $5 risk on this? Well, if we're setting it at a minimum of 3 to 1, we really can't trade this with more than $1.50, $1.65 stop loss, or which is what I would normally do. And I want to factor this in. So swing trade up to that level. Now, does that mean it can't go through that level? Of course it can go through that level. All we know, though, is sellers keep coming in. That's a big deal right now. So we know that that's our initial target. So if we're swing trading it up to that level and there's a $5 profit potential on it up to where the sellers have been coming in, 3 to 1 risk reward, basically $1.60 risk on the trade to make $5. If you don't like that risk reward and you don't think it's realistic for $1.50, then you could day trade up to that level. So you could day trade it today for maybe $2, day trade it on Monday, maybe $2, $2.50, and then reevaluate whether or not you want to have a swing trade through that level based on the Cathie Wood news. The other way to handle that, which is it's kind of an advanced way, which is called trading around a core position, where you'll be actively trading it and day trading it and exiting it, actively day trading and exiting and consistently building that position, looking for the breakout. So you've earned some money while the order flow is obvious up to that level. You book profits, add shares back, book profits, add shares back. If it takes off, you're good and you already have an existing position. That's a pretty advanced way of trading. A lot of active traders, a lot of prop traders who have a lot of buying power when you get your licenses and all that kind of stuff, you could trade with millions of dollars in buying power. So you could work these positions without really worrying about what your overnight buying power is, because basically when you're a professional trader, a prop trader, you can literally trade as much buying power as you prove that you can handle, which is a pretty exciting thing when you're a prop trader. So a couple of different ways to manage that. We also want to work our way over into Palantir, which is a very, very spoken about stock. If there was like a stock twitch for our Discord channel, PLTR, Aldo, and Lynn, and a bunch of other people are all over this stock every day. So it's kind of like a lightning rod. There's stuff happening every day. Again, more Cathie Wood news, okay, reducing exposure. So let's take a look at the stock. This is a stock that is very, very popular. Some people think they have revolutionary technology. The stock continues to hammer away at this $30 level. This is the level that we've been watching. It hasn't been able to get through there. Finally punched through here, and decent volume yesterday, nothing exciting. So again, another situation where as a trader, having the right share size at the right time matters here. So I know Aldo's been working this position for a while. Some other members of our community have been working this position for a while. Got to be honest with you, a little bit back and forth, I guess, for lack of a pay. Again, we're working that trend, and then we work back to the other direction, and then the trend changes again. If you know anything about what we do, we really encourage you to work the order flow. But what's interesting here now is it seems to be holding the bid, and the bid has started to rally up into this level. So there's two different trades for me personally right now. Yesterday was pretty good price action. It's trading a little bit lower yesterday. You could wait till it gets over 30, which is the significant resistance coming up, or you can start your first position now and then look to add on the first push and pause through 30, with the next level being all the way up here, right around 39 or 40 in that area. So the reason I want to keep bringing this up is that there's so many different catalysts for trade, so many different timeframes to trade. PLTR is one that has institutional attention, and that's one thing we want to make sure we talk about. Stocks that have liquidity, which means good volume every day on a regular basis, which that means you can get in and out where you want to, and opportunity, which in our case, and actually John here typed in normal ATR, which is a good point. He typed that in about Twitter before. So ATR is the average true range from the low to the high, typically over the last 14 days. So PLTR also has volatility as we measure from ATR, which essentially means there's opportunity. So when we're looking at ideas, we're talking about liquidity, as we just mentioned, which is volume, and opportunity, which we usually measure by average true range. So PLTR actually matches both of those. So that's the way I'm looking at it. I know Aldo has that as a little bit longer term investment. So over 30 would be my first piece, and then pushing a pause over 30, looking for the next move. And obviously I'm looking for much more than that, but that's the first initial target. And remember, if you didn't happen to catch the video that we did, the initial profit target that we always set for our trades is based on a certain risk reward parameter. But the reason, and again, this is kind of like taking your trading to a different level, you want to set a risk and reward parameter for your trade. A lot of people are really good at like, okay, there's my stop loss. If it goes down, I'm getting out. And you also never want to cut your profits at a certain spot because you don't know where it's going to go. However, watching market conditions, that might change. But prior to the trade, if you establish your stop loss and it's X amount, you see what we just did in Twitter before? Let me actually put that back on the screen. So we talked about Twitter, we talked about profit potential, but then we reversed the profit potential into the risk that we're willing to take on the trade. Normally, we'll do the opposite. We'll have our entry point, we'll have our stop loss, and like, okay, we're going to risk X amount. Then you need to project, and again, have the guts to project a profit target that makes accepting that risk justified. So again, that's order flow. What are the odds of follow through? And tape reading, how far has it already gone? Is there still profit left on the table? And should I take that risk? And that's a big deal too, because you'll be surprised at how many trades you stay away from because the risk reward doesn't make sense. So Twitter matches that criteria. So make sure that you, again, putting profit targets out there. Then after it hits your profit target, then you switch over into profit maximizer mode. And we actually had a couple of really good trades yesterday. I believe that this one was probably the best. For those of you that are day trading, if you're not watching it, this stock AFRM has given some really, really amazing opportunities the last few days. So if you're not watching it on the day trading side, this is definitely a stock to keep an eye on. Okay, I want to make sure that we're going to finish up like we did yesterday. This is the sector rotation from yesterday. Let me actually make that a little bit bigger. And so I just want to point out, so when you head into the day today, now you can go in and say, okay, I know where some opportunity is. Energy stocks continue. And look at that. We've been talking about energy stocks for a month. We started noticing the order flow changing from bearish to bullish. Uptrends didn't happen yet. Now the uptrends are starting to reverse back to the upside. And now you can see across the board in multiple time frames, energy stocks are now kind of, I wouldn't say leading the pack as much, but definitely have turned from bearish to bullish. And now we have some nice opportunities. There was some pretty good breakout opportunities yesterday. But what I want to do now is I'm going to go through this. This is, I didn't give you the full list. The full list is like 20 something stocks today. I think 28 actually. But if you want to screenshot it, just so you have some ideas going into today. I just talked about AFRM. DVAX had a monster reversal yesterday. MGNI kind of starting. Hopefully you traded EXPE yesterday, which is one of the top stocks on our radar yesterday, and even Skinbound. So we're actually going to take a look at these and do a quick run through just to give everybody some ideas for heading into today. All right. So we're going to do charts. We're going to go right down the list, and I want you to type in. We're going to start out. You know what? Actually, AFRM's on the list. Buy or not buy today? What are we thinking about here? What are you thinking about? I'm looking to continue trading AFRM. It's got some resistance up here into the 140 level. Still has some room to go. I love this bullish gap. Love this bullish gap. Now, here's the big thing. I'm actually going to come up on the screen again. A super easy, and I don't like, you don't use the word easy too often. A super easy way to determine should I take risk and what kind of risk should I take? Look to the left. What does the stock normally do? So if we take a look at AFRM, the stock has just gone from 104 to 128. So a $24 move in 2 days. Could the stock still go higher? Well, yeah, it's positive again. When's the last time this stock had a $24 move? Maybe here right after the IPO, 101 to 140, actually a little bit more. So now we know what the peak of what the stock normally does. Doesn't mean it can't go further, but now we know that we've taken up at least half, if not 3/4 of what it normally does on a swing trade. So because it's gone this far in such a short period of time, we're going to look for what we call the bullish echo on this, which means we're going to look for that bullish price action to remain. But I'm only going to day trade this right now until it gives us one of these again, a couple of day pause. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. So Jason Miller, 100%, absolutely. Dylan James, let's see. Franz, yep, buy. You have absolutely changed how I look into entering my positions. I cannot thank you enough. I can't thank you enough for being here. I'm so grateful that we get to share this every day. You can see I get all fired up and everything like that. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. DVAX, we actually had a swing trade on last week. I think we mentioned that. Here's a nice push, a pause, nice push, a pause. We got long over here, almost got stopped out over here, did not get out, and the next day it opened lower, so we actually took a loss on that one. Stock push looked like it was going down again, but came roaring back again, and now consolidated right at the breakout level. What do you think about this stock? Day trade or swing trade today? Let's actually take a look at that first. Let's leave it at high level like that. Day trade or swing trade? Day trade or swing trade for DVAX? Based on what the stock normally does, what it's done recently, just basically went from 13.5 to 20, and last place sellers came in at 20. So David's saying swing trade. Okay, David M saying swing trade. Minvai, day trade. Okay, Yamit, day trade. I think I'd probably be day trading this as well. I'd probably be day trading this as well. Again, we have to factor in what's going on here and what it normally does. I love this breakout level, but we also have to factor in this. What's the market doing this morning? Market's getting hit and it's still going down if we zoom in on a 5-minute chart. So we're actually making new lows pre-market here. That's a pretty big deal to pay attention to. So I'd probably be looking to day trade that one as well. Let's go out to the next one. MGNI. MGNI. What do you think here? How strong, on a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is the opportunity right now? Is order flow obvious? How long has order flow been obvious? What are we looking at right now? If we go out to the daily, go out to the weekly, go out to the monthly. Okay, so the monthly is a choppy mess. We have 4 months of melted candles. That one's a tiny candle there. Go out to the weekly chart. Weekly chart looks okay. Now, here's where traders get into a problem. And this is actually a big thing to learn. Yes, that weekly chart just went well bid, but that well bid is in the middle of a big trading range. So now you got to make a decision. Are you leaning on the 1 week or you want to wait for it to get out of this price range? So again, here's where you learn to work positions. It's strong now, had a couple of good days, bounced it a little bit, but it's stuck. That's the right price between, let's say, 24 and 32, 33, maybe somewhere in that window. And now we're stuck right in the middle of the middle. So in this case here, if you like this one long, you have two choices. You can wait till it gets out of this range, expecting it to get out because the week just went well bid, or take your first piece now, lower your risk exposure, and you wouldn't add until you get positive feedback on the breakout. So that's right, John. It is stuck between that level, right? Okay, John Oakes, I agree with that as well. Absolutely. Okay, so next we're going to go to, and hopefully everybody took this one from yesterday's list, EXPE. We actually called this out yesterday. You can see we had this longer term downtrend we broke. We said yesterday it broke on good volume. And yesterday, again, whether it was a day trade or a swing trade, some pretty good opportunity. Now, here's something interesting. The stock has now gone well bid for 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row and pretty good volume this week. So I still like this trade. And again, we started to put the pieces together yesterday. Travel-related stocks, which stocks are rallying, what does that mean? So you start, okay, EXP, what else can I look at for EXP? All right, I'm going to start to take a look at Royal Caribbean. I'm going to start to take a look at NCLH, Norwegian Caribbean. Now I'm going to start to take a look at, or any airlines rallying that I could pay attention to. You start to put these pieces together, and this is what separates you from those who are frustrated. And I can't express this strongly enough. When we're working together, the biggest thing I want you to do is I want you to work, just take it one notch higher. Okay, EXPA, we called it EXPE. We called it in the list yesterday. What does that mean? What other stocks in that industry group? If EXPA is going up, how can I manage those positions? Same kind of thing in the energy stocks, which we've been talking about. So again, remember the stock market power pyramid. There's the market, NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow. Then there's the sectors, the industry groups, and the individual stocks. So already this morning we mentioned EXPE yesterday. Now your mind should be like, okay, EXPE, let me see how much money's flowing into travel-related stuff. Just like that, you elevate your thought process as opposed to saying, oh, EXPE was in a scanner yesterday, hit the highs. I'm just going to go look at it. Learn to put these pieces together. Now we're going to go into energy stocks. Actually, you know what? Let me stick with this list. APPS, yes or no? For today, just for today's trading, APPS. Now, again, if you're a member of our community, you know that we had the alert set for 65. So 65 was the level. that we've been watching, broke through 65, and now it's well bid for a couple of days, 1, 2, 3 days of well bid. And here's the next level where sellers came in. So how much room is left to go on this trade? 73 to 79, roughly $6 left on the trade. So again, what the stock normally does and what's left on the trade, it has roughly $6. So if you're going to swing trade this, no more than 2 to justify that risk reward. So you could day trade it up to 79, or you could swing trade with a little bit less risk. So the obvious question comes in now is, how do I manage a little bit less risk on a trade that's a $73 trade? This is where you use your ingenuity a little bit and you say, okay, we're not going to risk that on the daily chart. Maybe that's a little bit too wide, right? Yesterday's candle was just over 3. We want to risk 2 for that $6 profit potential. This is where you zoom down and you use different time frames. A lot of swing traders use the hourly chart. So maybe you now shift down to the hourly chart. You lower your risk exposure looking for that $6 in profit potential. And David, that's a good point too. Well, in this case here, volume actually is above average for the last 2 days on this breakout. So in that sense, it looks okay. Opening lower today, so that actually expands the difference between the profit potential and the entry. Lower opening in a strong stock when it's well bid, I'll still look at it as long as it meets my criteria after the market opens. All right, we're going to finish up with one more. Let's go into CF. What do you think about CF as far as buying today? We have 3 consecutive bullish gaps in. Oh, you can't even see it. I'm sorry. What do you think about CF today? 3 consecutive bullish gaps today. What do you think about buying this stock today? And would it be a new swing trade? So the stock has almost gone $7 in the last 4 days. The last time the stock went $7 in a bullish manner, 48 to 55. So that's $7. That's the last time the stock ran $7 in a couple of days. What are the odds of follow through on a swing trade in this stock that just went $7 in 4 days? Would this be a day trade for you or a swing trade for you at this point? I definitely agree. I'm looking to buy it today. There's no question about that. I agree with John on that one. Watch, could be exhaustion. John says buy. Bullish gap, bullish gap, bullish gap. Parabolic move yesterday, big expansion in volume. So you have 2 choices here. So I agree. For me right now, this would be a day trade because of how far it's gone recently. And day trade, I agree, Winnie. And day trade for Sean. And day trade. So, yep. So I would be looking to day trade this. So you understand what we're saying here with setting up your ideas? The last significant bullish move for this stock was here. And it went the same distance that it just went here. Now, we're talking about swing trading. We're not talking about investing. We're talking about taking risk today. In this particular instance, we're looking for the bullish follow through from the last 3 days of bullish gaps, but the odds of a swing trade following through another $7 after today are much lower. So in this case here, we could day trade it if we get follow through. If it pulls back and pauses for a day or two, then we'd look for the next $7 move. And if we know $7 is the normal move in this stock, then that automatically lets us know what kind of risk we might be looking at on that trade. One other stock I just want to point out today that has been on our radar is QS. QS actually nothing awesome except for this. We're starting to see volume pick up a little bit in this stock. Is it a bullish environment yet? No, not yet. But you know what? That's pretty interesting. And this is stuff you want to start to learn how to pay attention to on the tape. So very similar to what we were talking about in all of the energy stocks recently. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them. Keep an eye on them. You don't need to be the first person in there. Something is changing here. And now this has come into my radar, and I'm looking for this much longer term bearish order flow, which has now gone into a period of accumulation. And this is probably the first sign of it breaking out. So the thing I want to leave you with today, I get a lot of questions about why all of a sudden does it spike like that? Well, think about it. If you're a hedge fund, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. You're able to just sit there and buy. They're selling, you just sit there and buy. They're selling, you sit there and buy. But you still have another 5 million shares to buy. So what happens if it's going down, the selling dries up, but you still need more shares? Now you have to start paying higher prices. That's what institutions do. So when we look at a chart like this, they're able to buy it because it's still going down. They don't have to create a wave yet. No panic, no panic, no panic. All right, the selling dried up and they need more shares. They have to start paying higher prices. And that's what ends up happening. The boot camp, yes, David, they are. Yep. There's actually three ebooks in the boot camp that you get. Okay. All right, everybody. I have to call it a day. We actually head over to our other meeting. If you want to find out about the boot camp, click on the link below. We'll put a link down there for you. If you want to learn about crypto, I also I'll put that link in the description as well. So have an awesome day, everybody. I want you to know how grateful I am that you're here with me today. Please click subscribe. If you find these videos helpful, please click subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. Have a great day trading and have an awesome, awesome weekend. Take care now.